The Christmas lights were still blinking when my phone buzzed. I almost ignored it. Music was playing. People were laughing. My father was pouring drinks like nothing in the world was wrong. Then I saw the notification. Property transfer completed. My stomach dropped. At first, I thought it was a mistake. A spam message. Anything but what it sounded like. I excused myself and stepped into the hallway, away from the noise. Hands shaking, I opened the email. My name. My address. My house. Transferred. Sold. Finalized. I felt cold from head to toe. That house wasn't a gift. It wasn't inheritance. It was mine. Bought with 10 years of savings. Late nights. Double shifts. No vacations. No safety net. I paid every installment. Every tax. Every repair. I built that place from nothing. I called my father immediately. He didn't answer. I called again. Still nothing. I walked back into the living room. Everyone looked happy. My sister was laughing loudly, showing off her new phone. New bag. New shoes. All things she couldn't afford. My mother noticed my face. "What's wrong?" she asked. I couldn't speak. My father finally stood up and tapped his glass. "Let's make a toast," he said cheerfully. "To family sticking together in hard times." My heart started pounding. I stared at him. He avoided my eyes. "To sacrifice," he continued. "For those who need help." My sister smiled and hugged him. "Thank you, Dad," she said sweetly. That's when I knew. This wasn't a mistake. This was a decision. I pulled him aside. "What did you do?" I asked quietly. He sighed, annoyed. "Don't make a scene," he said. "It's Christmas." "You sold my house," I whispered. He looked at me like I was being unreasonable. "Your sister was drowning in debt," he said. "She made mistakes. So I pay for them." I asked. "She's family," he snapped. "You're stronger. You'll manage." Stronger. Because I always had to be. Responsible. Because I never had a choice. My sister walked over. "Oh, come on," she said casually. "You don't even live there full time." I felt something crack inside me. "That was my future," I said. "My security." Dad crossed his arms. "We raised you," he said. "You owe us." Owe them. For surviving on my own. For not failing like her. For being reliable. I looked around the room. At the decorations. At the smiles. At the people celebrating my sacrifice. And I realized something terrifying. They had planned this. Without telling me. Without asking. Without caring. I nodded slowly. Said nothing. Picked up my coat. Everyone stared. "Where are you going?" my mother asked. "Home," I replied. Then corrected myself. "No, not anymore." I walked out into the cold night. Snow falling. Phone buzzing non-stop in my pocket. I didn't answer. Because I knew. If I did, I might shatter. And deep down, I understood something worse. They didn't just sell my house. They sold their place in my life. And what I did next would change everything. I didn't go back to the party. I didn't answer calls. I didn't read messages. I drove for hours. Past empty streets. Past closed shops. Past memories that suddenly felt fake. Around 2 a.m., I parked near a quiet river. Turned off the engine. And finally let myself breathe. My phone showed more than 40 missed calls. Mostly from Mom. A few from Dad. None from my sister. Not one. That hurt the most. The next morning, I went straight to the property office. No anger. No tears. Just determination. The clerk looked nervous when she saw my file. "This sale was unusual," she admitted. "You weren't present. You didn't sign personally." "I know," I replied. She hesitated. "Your father used an old power of attorney." My hands clenched. Years ago, when I was working abroad, I had signed it. For emergencies. For trust. For family. He used it against me. I contacted a lawyer that same day. Laid everything out. Documents. Messages. Bank records. He frowned. This can be challenged, he said. Easily. Apparently, my father had sold the house far below market value. To a friend. Who was actually connected to my sister's boyfriend. It was a setup. Planned. Coordinated. Calculated. While I was busy working. They were busy betraying me. Over the next weeks, I stayed quiet. No confrontations. No drama. Let them think I was broken. Let them think I had accepted it. Behind the scenes, my lawyer filed objections. Froze the transaction. Started an investigation. Meanwhile, reality hit them. The debt wasn't gone. The money disappeared fast. Creditors came back. Louder. Angrier. My sister started panicking. Dad called. Begged. Please, he said. Drop the case. We're family. I replied calmly. You weren't family when you sold my home. Silence. A month later, I received a court notice. Hearing date. Official stamp. Real consequences. That night, I stood in my small rented room. Looking at one suitcase. One desk. One lamp. And yet, I felt stronger than ever. Because for the first time, I wasn't protecting them. I was protecting myself. And soon, they would understand the difference. The courtroom was quiet. Too quiet. My father sat across from me. Smaller than I remembered. My sister stared at the floor. No makeup. No confidence. No excuses left. The judge reviewed every document. The fake urgency. The misuse of power of attorney. The secret deal. The undervalued sale. Finally, he looked up. This transaction is invalid, he said firmly. It was obtained through abuse of trust. My breath caught. The property will be returned to the rightful owner. Just like that. It was over. My house was mine again. Outside the courthouse, Dad tried to speak. I only wanted to help your sister, he said, voice shaking. You destroyed me to save her, I replied calmly. That's not help. That's betrayal. My sister cried. I didn't mean. I know, I interrupted. You just didn't care. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear. I love you, I told them. But I won't sacrifice myself again. From that day on, everything changed. No more shared finances. No more blind trust. No more emotional pressure. I renovated my house slowly. Room by room. With peace. With pride. With boundaries. Sometimes they visit. Sometimes they don't. And that's okay. Because now, my life is mine. My future is mine. My choices are mine. They taught me a painful lesson. And I turned it into strength. I didn't lose my home. I found my backbone. White right pointing backhand index. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our channel for more powerful stories.